Hey guys, Danny Go here. This is going to be my weekly results show. So it was a pretty decent week. Hopefully gonna do some things after this sweat circle. Oop, no, we want to do the share screen. Okay, so where we are is we did go up a little bit actually from. I think the first video was probably. Oh, okay, yeah, I hadn't recorded um, some of the things, but we did increase. We moved up almost 1,000 peds, which I kind of figured we would because we were at kind of the low part of that um, range cycle. Um, I mean, obviously the biggest one we had a generation 0 of those mechas from Cyrene 500 peds. Those things cost like off the top of my head, maybe 1 pet to kill. I don't know if that's correct even, but anyway, that's just a lot of profit. But I actually had a pretty good run on them. I was doing quite well actually, even before then. Yeah, I didn't do a huge amount of hunting. I'm at actually. So my global is actually why I'm so far ahead. I didn't really do a whole lot. Well, I actually did quite a lot. I did a lot of teaming. I guess that doesn't show, but I teamed on the weak Penalians. I guess I have a global that probably wasn't a teaming. I don't think it was. I think it was just a regular hunting. Because they've got like a little daily you can do, but probably did a few extra. Probably during the few extra that I got that global. I got a Snowdrake. I just got to Next Island. Between Thursday and Sunday, you don't really see anything. I went to Arc, and then I did a repair run. Pretty huge. Got like 1,600 skills. I had never done repairing before, so I figured I should. I guess I probably lost about 50 peds repairing. I mean, spent, because I mean, well, lost and spent. It's um. So yeah, I think that well, I mean, it's an expense, but you know, you're doing that for a reason, obviously. So because you get a lot of good skills, you know, um, I think there were like 8 different or 10 different skills I was getting. I got a lot of vehicle repairing, um, blueprint comprehension and mechanics, a lot of different things. So my total skill count actually gained pretty wild. I don't even know how it happened. I gained almost 3,000 skills. I mean, half of that was the vehicle repairing stuff. So I mean, it was a good week. I mean, I expected, well, I mean, going back to the share, there was like an adjustment to my cost basis or my basis in the game plus a depot. That was kind of the last of the Twitch payouts. Basically take the profit, put it back into the game. So you're not going to see that adjustment anymore. So that this basis here should basically, or the amount of money in the game shouldn't should stop modifying because I'm not getting those. Basically, what I was doing is I was streaming with Twitch, and I'm no longer doing that at all. I stream with Twitch the profit. I would basically deduct from my game cost, and then what I put back in, I would add back in. That's why you kind of see that moving around a little bit for the amount I have in the game. But that should no longer adjust unless I just choose to depot, which I'm not. I'm basically planning against it. I'm gonna stay under the $6,000 amount in the game. So that basis should not be changed anymore. So I mean, in forms of like things that I'm doing, to make a little extra ped. I have I'm using some ped sites, Ludius.io. I'll put these in the chat, the ones I use along with my referral code, so if you don't know them, you can use them. I use Ludius.io. You get free ped crates just by clicking a button. There are lots of resources. I use PP Point Play Games. I'll post my referral code there, and then I'm also using Misplay. So maybe it's not a huge amount. And then I got some other streams I watch. But yeah, those are some things I do. I'm trying to. I've had some businesses in the game before, but changes in the game kind of made them obsolete. And that's actually when I was doing my prior businesses. Well, I guess that and my streaming overlapped very briefly, but they pretty much didn't overlap. I'm not sure that I knew that. Yeah, no, I knew. Well, no, I didn't know that. See, I had a really profitable business, and then changing the game just kind of made it end. I don't know, if I could maybe resurrect it, but it'd be harder now, or I have to think it through differently. But yeah, I was planning to do that business plus stream. It ended up just becoming streaming because they barely overlapped because of the changes in the game. So that was a little bit unfortunate. If I'd had that business going while streaming, I probably would be pretty close to in the positive right now. But I mean, to be honest, though, I mean, the streaming was so much work that I probably couldn't have done both. Well, no, I don't know. I probably would have had to done less streaming, to be honest. But it is what it is. One of the things I'm kind of just I hope people don't mind that I get a little bit off topic, but I mean, I hope it actually adds some value, to like me as a person and maybe just just how I'm thinking about things and one of the things that I'm kind of just um realizing is just not in life is just not doing too much, like doing less but doing more, doing it better, and also just taking care of myself. Like I had a friend who went through like a divorce, and then he like sold me this really nice bed, this great condition, and I'm like, I was just like sleeping on that recently. I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's like heaven. It's like a $4,000 mattress, and I got it for pretty cheap. But I mean, he needed the money, and I, could use a new bed, so it was just learning to take care of myself. Um, so, but anyway, I'm gonna get out and actually do something as I ramble for this one. But I do want to see the end of this event. So okay, it's only a few minutes left, so we'll be getting out and doing stuff. So going back to that, I did a ton of taming. I really wanted to get just be able to team, like if I'm hunting certain mobs and I do get a rare pet to spawn, I want to be able to take a profit on that. And it also has some good looter skills, like zoology in there, which you can get tree cutting for sure. And tree cutting is definitely, I think, one of the more beneficial things you can do in the game. Develop your character. So I've done quite a lot of tree cutting. I mean, not as much as I feel like I should have, but definitely I've made a tree cutting important, and I I should have made it even more important, and should be making it even more important. But it's not always the most. I don't hate it, but it's not the most entertaining. So I mean, I mean, it's obviously you want to be successful, but you want to also have fun. So I don't want um, sometimes I can be a little driven to even maybe the point that sometimes I don't have fun. I mean, mostly I have fun, and that's another thing I'm always trying to improve upon. That's a sort of weakness I can have, is that while I do have fun, um, sometimes I can have less fun than I would if I was a little less driven. And then sometimes I even think like that drivenness, it may not even benefit me, because then you make mistakes. Like I mean, I haven't made any huge ones this week, but I goofed up an auction a little bit on Cali. I sold it for too much. Um, I think I was just too tired. I mean, and that's not a huge thing at all. You just need a very small auction fee. But the point just is that the more tired you are, the more mistakes you make. And while I don't think that um, I haven't made any big ones recently. But I just think that there's also, like, sometimes that there can be a benefit to just not doing too much. Um, but yeah, a lot of personal rambling this time, but hey, it is what it is. If I want to talk about something, I will. Hopefully you guys benefit from it, or it's mildly entertaining. Who is this guy? Something about me? I don't know. But yeah, I actually didn't. I mean, other than that, I didn't do a ton of hunting. I think a lot of it was I have got pretty tired lately. But I've had a lot going on. But it's really dying down a lot, and I have 3 days of vacation along with some holidays coming up. So I'm really focused on just you know I think it's very reasonable, because I finished a lot of, like, projects that I needed to finish in real life, and so now I don't have a whole lot on my plate anymore, outside of work. And so I definitely, I think I have a lot of time where I can just lay back and chill and um, relax, and so that's good, and thing I need to do and should do, and I think it'll just benefit me, and give me hopefully just better clarity. I'd like to, start up more businesses in the game. We'll see. I don't know. But I gotta think through what that looks like, and but I also think, like, um just not going too fast into anything. I do that's one of the problems I also do, is I notice a lot of my mistakes is, like, I just didn't really think it through well enough. Um and I think that's another thing too, is like, yeah, I wanna start some business in the game. But you know, like I was saying, I've been tired. But I mean, the good thing is, I've got a plan. I've got time to get caught up, and I've got a plan to get, caught up. And I think that, once I'm caught up, that's the time where I can think more clearly and have better, you know, success on my thoughts. So don't rush anything. There's nothing wrong with doing a little bit of sweating and just chilling back and relaxing. I've got this really nice, actually, just like in this lazy, it's sort of like a gaming chair, but it's like a cross between like a gaming chair and like a lazy boy chair almost. So I'm just kind of like, so I've been, even doing this video, I'm just kind of like a little bit like leaned back and just like, oh, chilled out. So, I mean, even you do hunting, you don't have to be like all like intense. And I think that's another thing too. It's like, I find like a lot of times I get all like intense for no reason. It's like, does the game does the game give you better loot because you were staring at the mob intensely or not? No, that's ridiculous. The game doesn't really know your frame of mind. And if it did know your frame of mind, it's not going to reward you for whether you killed the mob with great interest or killed the mob with great indifference, or intensity or not. So, um, just trying to have that sort of frame of mind. Um, all right, so I think the SSI ended. I think I'm gonna try to finish my daily in ancient Greece. So I did open some mayhem boxes, with some of my depot. And then I've got some more to open from my stream. I got the keys. My boxes are on Kali, so open from that. Um, and then yeah, so it's not a huge amount, but I'll get a few. I'm looking forward to, well, it's sort of looking forward to mayhem. I mean, the one problem is that, because I am, pretty much, I would, in some ways, I describe myself as a break equal player. I mean, based on the amount that I've cycled, um, probably, I mean, my high end days, and I know that, compared to some of the Ubers and whatnot, this isn't like huge at all, but my high end days, I can cycle like 3,000, 4,000 peds. I really don't average that, but, I mean, I've probably cycled 2 million peds or more in the game. So, when you cycle that amount and in your difference you're talking about is a plus or minus of, you know, 5,000 peds is pretty low. I mean, granted though, I have had some pretty big businesses, although I've also had some pretty huge business failures, which kind of also goes back to my point of, I made some really bad investments in the game, um, which kind of goes really bad, back to my game of just being um, more slow doing things. Like I've also noticed this in my real life investments. Like I was looking myself like my investments recently, and I'm like, why do I have so many bad investments. Well, I mean, in one sense, it's not like, oh my God, I'm a terrible investor, but it's like, well, during a lot of that market upturn, I was making so much money with so many of the investments, and I kind of ended up selling a lot of the good investments and kind of waiting for the bad ones to kind of. But I mean, ultimately, it's like, yeah, I made a lot of money with investments. I mean, I don't know. I probably, frankly, haven't really benefited from doing my own investing, but I mean, more than like just kind of like buying like, really solid index funds and stuff like that. That's low cost. I probably would have been better off just buying low cost index funds, to be honest. But I mean, I definitely profited, with my investing. I mean, I think it was the sort of market the past many years. Um, I actually graduated right at the start of that kind of 2008. But I mean, the thing is that I had a sense that that I was reading people like after graduating, like Buffett, and Buffett was just started buying things hand over fist, and I had a sense that that you know, this is the way to live as an investor. Like, Buffett would say, when others are fearful, that's the time. I mean, not that I was, you know, I mean, I was also kind of just out of college, so I was young and naive. But you're investing and you're investing at the bottom. I mean, this was I think that the S&P went from 2,200-ish to 800, and I'm buying at 800, and over the next a few years, the money I was investing in just doubled so fast. And so I don't think that I look historically at why do have I made so many bad investments? I think I just you know but in a way it's like all those that I was investing when other people were so afraid. I think I made a lot of money because just because I was willing to invest. I think in some ways one thing I've also kind of learned is that sometimes our experience I mean typically we would value experience um as something that makes you do better in life. One thing I've actually realized is that um investing for example investing um because almost every so many situations in investing are unique. I mean, not that. One second. I mean, I don't think I don't. I think I overestimate their uniqueness, but I mean, I think one of the things um, is that sometimes in investing, I think that um, our experiences can sometimes actually make it more difficult rather than less difficult. Um, so I mean, it's not always. I should have this daily here. What on earth do I even have? That's annoying. Got the wrong weapon key mapped. Yeah, but sometimes our experiences can actually, make it actually harder, make it harder, to make good decisions actually. And that's one of the things, but one of the things I'm also starting to just value as an investor is, like how will the investments, like, I mean, and I heard people say this before, and they're mostly older investors, but I guess I didn't really understand it at that, but at that time, but I do now. Like, how will your investments make you sleep at night, Um, I mean, it's true. I mean, let's say you've got an let's say you just get an investment that's gonna be like nearly a guaranteed 6%, but there's nothing more than that, But I mean, are you happy with that? Um, and I mean, if you're making money and you're happy with it and it helps you sleep really good at night, you know, um, that's um that's a world of I mean, I've been in investments, which have just been like, I don't think, I think they were good investments. But they were like nauseating watching the swings on them. And it's like, well, even if you think maybe in the long term this will make you some extra money, is it worth, is it worth the concern of it, Um, yeah, I mean, I guess to each their own. I mean, each people have risk tolerance. I think my risk tolerance as an investor is actually pretty high, in some ways. Well, I think as like an investor, my risk tolerance is pretty pretty low. But I mean, for the amount like compared to the average person, my risk tolerance is very high. Um, but I think for people who are active investors, my risk tolerance is fairly low, or maybe I think maybe more moderate. But I definitely, as I get older, I start to I have less risk tolerance. I mean, as I say, get older, I guess that's kind of a weird thing. I'm only 39. But on the other hand, I do have, I mean, I think um, but I mean, there's your actual age and then kind of your psychological age, or I don't know if that's exactly true, but I think it's true. I mean, um, because I don't know how much I want to. Well, I guess I may as well. You know, um, but yeah, I mean, I was married and my wife did die. So I think that does affect your psychology. It definitely does. Like, I feel like if you've been married I was married for like 12 years and then she died. Just kind of it was a heart issue. That But anyway, I'm not gonna go more into that than that. But but yeah, I mean, I think that sort of thing. If ever you know had something like that, I it's something that um I would just say that sort of experience, like mentally, probably advances you like 15 years, you know? I mean, if you're 39 and you experience something like that, you know, you have sort of a mental age of, you know, in my opinion, of, you know, being like 45, you know, or well, not 45, 55. I think that's you know, true. Like, I mean, I probably like that sort of experience, you know, if it mentally pushes you like 15 years ahead. Um, 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 and there's the good and the bad in that because like like a I'm like you know 39-year-old guy who's kind of mentally thinking like a 55-year-old person. Um, and I think that makes it extreme like it makes it really hard to relate with people in some ways. But I mean, there's some real benefits to it too. Um, but I'm not gonna say that it entirely does that because it doesn't. But in some ways, in some ways it does. In some ways, your perspective is just very, very different than your peers. I mean, you start to just like a lot of things that people think matter. Um, I guess they matter to them, but you start to realize that ultimately there's just a lot of these things that don't matter, you know? And I think that that's something that comes with age, but also certain experiences. You just realize a lot of the things that people get frustrated about, like we get we have this tendency to get frustrated with things that are so small, you know? And you know, I think if we kind of saw those things from sort of later in life, we would realize how small they are, or even after certain experiences, you just kind of realize a lot of these just kind of small things just don't really matter, you know. I mean, there's definitely things that matter, you know, um, for sure, and I don't want to say that, but I mean, you know, we get we have this tendency to get like really like you know like these tiny little things get all worked up about it when you know fundamentally you know in the long run a lot of those things that we get stressed about just don't matter, you know. um so yeah, there's the good and the bad, um and this stream is about whew, this stream went, I don't know where the stream went. This stream went somewhere, or the video went somewhere, but it is what it is. And but yeah, I think that's another thing too. Yeah, I'm just kind of like, yeah, with my game, I guess it does relate. A lot of these things relate somehow. It's just kind of like a stream. It becomes like a stream of consciousness when there's like just me. Like when I'm streaming on like Twitch, I'm always like worried a little bit about what people are thinking. And here, just like there's no one here. I mean, I know after the fact that people will be watching, so but it doesn't get in the way of my sort of stream of consciousness. And for the good and the bad. And I also don't have a huge filter um, for my thoughts. I mean, I don't. I mean, I definitely, you know, I don't talk about anything controversial. I'm not. I don't want to be controversial. I don't even want to. Like, I don't want to even think about controversial things. I'm just. I want to relax and have fun, you know. But but you know, I don't. I just say what's on my mind usually, unless there's some really good reason not to. Um, I know people appreciate that, but yeah, I'm not real concerned about, you know, certain levels or stuff, or I'm just trying to improve my game. Oh, somehow we were talking about mayhem boxes. Oh, I did get a bunch of good healing amps. So I'm trying to make the most of that. I did die, but actually I wasn't fighting with the right weapon. I had the wrong weapon hotkey. It didn't have a healing amp on there. But yeah, I'm trying to make the most of those healing amps I got from my boxes that are attached to my melees. that's actually it was a huge thing. I got multiple of those. But yeah, I'm a little less excited because I'm not really depoting of the next mayhem. Um, I just don't know that I'll be able to use the boxes exactly, but on the other hand, I do want to participate in this next mayhem. I don't know how future ones. I mean, probably I will, but it's a lot. Oh, right, many. Not paying enough attention. Usually I can pull this off a lot better. When I make a video sometimes or stream, I'm not 100% focused. That's okay, to be honest. I don't really even do enough healing. And that's another thing too, like one of the things, I've been thinking about is like, I mean, um, yes, armor is more eco than healing, but one of my thoughts is it's not giving me skills. So that's not something that's really building up my character. Whereas healing is definitely building up my character. So that's something that, I mean, let's say, it costs, you know, but I mean, the thing is that, let's say you're getting 95% of your healing costs back, and it's only, I mean, my thought is that, you know, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit more cost, but you're getting 95% back. Plus you're getting a lot of skills. So that's one thing that I'm kind of like really trying to just like as I can, um, just sort of think through those things. And like, do I really prefer the ped to I may just let myself die here because there's just too many of them. I mean, so I definitely am, let's say for example the healing costs, the cost of healing is twice as much of the cost of armor. But you could get 95% of that back. So, you know, um, you know, for 100 peds of healing, it would have been, you know, the only, and these numbers may be completely wrong. I mean, it's just sort of an example. For 100 peds of healing, you know, you would have paid 50 peds on the armor. So your increase in cost is 50 peds, but of that you're getting 95% back. So you're talking about like 2.5 peds, but you're getting a lot of beneficial skills. So and it takes a really long time to spend 100 peds of healing too. Plus you're getting and over 100 peds of healing, you're getting a huge amount of skills. So my thought is, I mean, when I can, and this is at least for now, we'll see how it goes. When I can, I'm going to try to heal rather than use armor. Um, Now, obviously, there are some downsides, like, oh my gosh, did I not even heal? Ooh, that was dicey. I didn't actually even heal there. There's some downsides there, like I definitely can't survive a swarm of mobs like that. Um, but on the other hand, maybe I shouldn't be doing that anyway. I mean, I don't know if it's such a good thing to let 10 mobs be um, whacking on you anyway. Um, like Because I mean that it also kind of guarantees that I'm not, taking a huge amount of damage like that. Um, because I'll just prefer to die and heal and fight a reasonable set of mobs. So actually, I mean that sort of situation where I have armor, um, functionally my cost because I'm actually surviving it, rather than just making the smart decision to just die, fight reasonable mobs. My cost may actually be significantly higher with armor, and that's a funny thought, is because it's changing my behavior. That my cost may actually be it's possible that with the better behavior that no armor causes, my cost may actually be lower. So, but yeah, definitely these next island dailies, I get crystals for this. They have MU, or I can um, crafting with them, sell them. This is a pretty good one, the Cyclops Crystal Hoarder, or Argus Crystal Hoarder. I do the bigger one for more crystals, but not the biggest one. But I usually find Arguses are pretty good on MU themselves. Ooh, I got a level up. Nice. All right. But yeah, definitely. Do I have any goals or something? Um, well, definitely just kind of seeing where things go. It's kind of a transition between the old stream and the new stream. Definitely working on just getting the best XP I can. I don't plan to do skill running every week. Actually, I probably don't even intend to do it. I got 1,600 skills. I mean, that was my first repair run. Um, but mostly I just do XP dailies for crafting, like on Monria, Toulon, stuff like that. Next island. Um, so I don't really intend to do it again for a while. Um, but yeah, I'm just gonna focus on you know mobs that have MU, trying to get the MU from the loot. And see where I can go on that. I think I said I was going to talk something about hunting. Well, okay, yeah, hunting, mining, and crafting. So um, I mean, a lot of good players, they mention they make a lot from crafting, and I'm not going to dispute that or disbelieve it, because I think that if you have the right skills, your numbers are going to be um good enough that and you have to have the right blueprints, but it's like to get there at this point in the game, I don't know. I just I feel like they got there because they were here early in the game. I don't know if later players how reasonable it is to get into crafting. I definitely, I don't want to say don't craft. But I mean, I think one of the things I'm definitely learning is I think, I need to be just more situational in my crafting, like, because there are going to be at times during like events, real shortages on certain things and real price spikes, and and that's the time where I can step in and train my crafting. But, to me, I just think that my crafting levels, like, I'm just not even even close to being able to compete in crafting. I just think it's so much tighter, the numbers you need to be successful in crafting than other things. Um, so I think to me, there's more opportunity even say hunting because, well, I think the thing is that there's no limit to the big players on crafting, you know? Um, they can craft anything, you know? Whereas I think in a way there is a limit to um, bigger players on say hunting, because they can't hunt all the mobs. Um, because it takes time, and they also have to be on all the planets. There's not so much. They're more limited, and you can also just craft overnight. You can craft multiple hours away from your computer. I mean, technically, some players might bot, but especially the thing is they're not going to be botting small mobs. And that's the thing is that there are lots of niches in hunting. Oh, the other thing too is like this Crystal Hoarder daily. Yes, the MU is good, but would I want to grind a billion of this mob um, endlessly? Just trying to get rid of some stuff. I'm like experiencing problems due to pack ratting. Um, I did also get a Rapid Present blueprint. I need to keep that. I need to keep those, and I need to get rid of those. Um, but like, I think that if you had a good looter, you probably could grind these endlessly. But I think really the dailies in Next Island are, and you can cycle quite a lot on the dailies. Um, but the dailies, they definitely increase the profit for the first, X amount of ped. Like for example, like the Argus is probably 150 ped cycle. So it's definitely like a huge spike in my profit for the first 150 peds, or inverse of profit, not loss. Because you cycle 150 peds, you get 5 peds of high MU crystals. So let's just say that's a 5% right there. You know, so let's say my return. Not I really some people are like, oh, it comes out of your loot. I really do not believe so at all. Especially because Next Island has removed some ped dailies. I think that they were just too much cost to Next Island. Why they removed them. Um, Also, just a bunch of people I talk to, they don't think it, or some do, some don't. But I do not believe that it comes out of your pet. I think it's a sort of like a comp from Next Island. I think comes out of their money. But I mean, the thing is that to me, I think it more makes it like more of a free hunt. Um, so I don't think they're losing money, but I just think they're giving back a lot of their profit on that. You know. Um, so I don't. So I don't think I'm taking advantage of them. I think it's just sort of they're giving back a decent amount of their profits. So if there's MU in my loot, the chances of me cutting ahead are a lot higher. It also depends on my numbers, how good my numbers are. I think weaker players, they probably are still making a profit. Players like me, they're more, um, but it's just that's my theory. And that's the thing. I'm gonna tell you my theories. Each person they can um, take it um, for what it is, and see what they think, and hopefully, hopefully, my goal is always to get you some benefit from this. Hopefully, um, over time, and hopefully you don't hate my life stories and stuff. But if you do, I mean, it's I'm just gonna be myself, and that's the for me, it's the only way, and hopefully that people do benefit, because I don't want to. But I mean, definitely people are benefiting, or I got a lot of good, 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 good comments, good feedback. People found it interesting. They wanted to see more. I know this one got a little more wide ranging into my life. I hope that's not a big distraction or whatnot. But my it's just the way I am. My stream of When I stream, I have a sort of stream of consciousness. Um, when there aren't people watching, and this is just what happens, and it goes lots of weird places, but not weird, but different places, and to me it's somehow connected in my stream of conscious, but it can get kind of rambly, but I do hope that maybe in there you find something. I mean, I talked about investing. Um, maybe, I mean, you did not probably come to the stream for investing, but maybe you found something there, and maybe you didn't. But I talked about, life lessons I'm learning. Maybe you you found something there, maybe you didn't. Hopefully you just didn't. Hopefully I didn't like blow your mind and like, oh my gosh, it's too much. But I don't think so. I think that hopefully maybe even in my ramblings, you did not come to this stream to learn about my thoughts on Warren Buffett and investing and psychology of investing and and whatnot. But there we are. But I mean, that's the funny thing is that because this game is like it has so much real world elements, is that it makes it like harder to distinguish this game from your life because this game is not pure fantasy. I mean, it's a fantasy world. But it's a real economy, and so I think that it relates much more strongly with your life. It, um, it in some ways it is less of an alternate reality and more of an extension of your real life. I really feel that, and there's good and bad to that. Obviously, I think that's why the players here were playing. They came because of the real cash element, the intrigue of it, whether or not we've really enjoyed it. I mean, I guess the players who stayed hopefully have. Um, I think it just this is a very mentally fascinating world. I find it mentally stimulating. Um, um, so yeah, I just definitely I think like to me, I mean, people are like, oh, this game is so expensive. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I put 6,000 in. I guess it's only been 4 years, but I mean, I don't intend. I think based on my results, I don't. Even if I don't hit profit, I could play 10 years on the money I have in the game easily. If my sort of. But I mean, the other thing too is if I find businesses and stuff, even if I keep losing money, I probably won't lose money. But the thing is, to me, actually, like, because I do spend so much time playing this game, I probably spend a lot in the long run. I'll spend a lot less money on this than other stuff. So to me, this is a lot cheaper than other forms of entertainment. But on the other hand, I am, mm, definitely not unsuccessful in this game. Some people definitely lose a lot. They're not, but if you're not getting the MU, you're not really developing your skills in a good way. You will definitely lose a lot, and I'm definitely not losing a lot. So, um, I hope to, obviously, as the title is, you know, um, this is a stream about trying to get into the profit. I mean, but I'm also just having fun. I don't want to. I don't want to always like last night I got Next Island. I could have grinded more dailies, or I barely did anything 'cause I was tired. Um, I think if I was really hyper focused on profit, I would have tried pushed a few in. And it's not sure early on in my game I would do that. Now I'll just be like, tired, just go to bed. I mean, to me, it's, I do want to be profitable. I want to be successful, if possible. That's the kind of the goal. But on the other hand, if I don't succeed, I'm not. It's not like I'm going to be unhappy. Because actually, the intrigue, the sort of the mystery, um, it's what I look forward. Playing this game is one of the things I look forward to in the day. So, and I don't think that if I don't reach, if I fail to reach profit, you know, I won't be like it won't have destroyed my enjoyment of this. I mean, obviously, I think I would I would like it more to reach that level of success. But I mean, I think that's an important thing too, is that when we have goals, that they don't take away from our experience. And that's another thing too. I'm definitely trying to focus on more and more. It's just my experience, um, not being so driven to. So I'm going to choose purple light. Oh no! Oh my gosh, that's the wrong one. Oh, okay. I'm supposed to choose halite. I've been crafting this purple light thing. I don't think I want purple. I wanted halite. Okay, it's okay. I'll use it. Uh, I think I wanted halite. Oh, I probably should have brought extractors. Oh, silly me. All right, it's okay. But yeah, I mean that was worth it, even though I chose the wrong one, I think. Um, so yeah, I mean we've been um definitely I won't do the VSE, I mean that's like 50 ped investment. It's definitely I felt well worth it. But I mean to me like Monreal crafting, Toulon crafting, I mean to me those are you know long-term better value, I think. Um, Not that I won't do more VSC, but probably not for at least 6 months or maybe even a year. So, but definitely work more on taming. I want to work more on dailies, but I was also just trying to catch up a little bit on dailies and also hunting, catch up more up on sleep. And I want to do more mining, but you know, um, as things go, And somebody's asking, oh yeah, we went to crafting a little bit. It's definitely like really taking a while to get to my points, but that's okay. So I'm more like kind of crafting as I see opportunity. For like um hunting and mining, I do like feel like there's more like base potential for profit in mining, and there's less upside because you're not going to get say a 10,000 pet item, you know. On the other hand, not many hunters won't get that very often unless you're really top tier. But I think on a sort of day-to-day profit, there's more potential day-to-day on mining. I mean, yeah, there is less of that huge upside potential, but the reason I'm more focused on hunting, well, one is I've started with it and I have a little bit more passion for it. But on the other hand, I think that it's just easier. I think I think that Mind Arc the reason for Codex. I don't really think the Codex is superior to Iron Missions. I just think it's easier for players to advance. So and have a little bit of taste of success. But being said, because that it is easier, it's also raising key skills used in mining, including in general serendipity. I mean, and the mining unlock for prospecting is fairly low. It's a 5,000. And I think that the sort of thing is you need the average to be usually about 5% more than that. So 5,500 average. Now, obviously, a lot of the mining skills lower, but the thing is, you get a ton of serendipity. It's much easier to get serendipity hunting than mining. So, and also perception. And while those aren't like a wild percent of the profession, perception is 7,700. Well, those aren't a wild amount of perception. Let's see how much they are. See how much serendipity and I mean there is on the driller side a lot higher unlock. It looks pretty brutal, but I think that more of the benefits is going to be on my suspect is going to be on the prospector side, than on the cost reduction from the drilling side. But yeah, the unlock is at 50. That's a fairly low unlock. But perception and serendipity are 7% of the profession combined. 5% on perception, 2% on serendipity. Now that 7%, is not huge, but I mean, on the other hand, it the more skills you have, it makes it a lot easier. If you got 7%, that's pretty, you know, way above where it needs to be. That's huge, and that's the thing too, is why and that's just actually pretty fundamentally huge. The one thing though, and I've read up on this, or reading, one thing is that you know, and yeah, I've seen at least one or two people say on the post that amps tend to decrease MU in mining, and I think so. I think that a lot of the really high MU stuff tends to be capped, so if you have a big amp, it will decrease your chance of getting it. Plus, you're paying a cost to get the amp too. So that does make it very hard to advance in mining because the usual structure of the advance is much more weighted heavily to big finds. So it does make it very hard to level in mining because you're not progressing those missions. When they're I mean, Nick's Island isn't a great example because it doesn't really have. Well, it has two dailies, and I think that's why their irons aren't so good. But for example, like Sorensen Stone, the structure is going to be like level 2 and 3 are like a percentage or something, or really low amounts, and then it's like 1 point, and then it goes up a lot. So if you got a big amp that's like 8 heads a drop, your chances of your XP, because you're getting these irons very fast, is going to be like so much higher, your XP in that. So yeah, if I was just gonna pop on some big amps, I think just running around, I could just knock that out really fast. But I just think that it would also be a lot of ped loss. So that's another thing too, is I'm also just enjoying the journey and trying to be more as eco as I can. I mean, I think that, like 5,500 prospector, I don't know what that would take, but if I was knocking out a huge amount of the iron missions like Kelly, but then on the other hand, a lot of those iron missions are also for materials which just aren't sellable. So I also don't want to like target something like Blausium, which is, probably, in large quantity. Yeah, I mean, I could just power level. I could be like, oh, I'm gonna knock out this Listrium iron and get 30 peds of prospecting, and then I'm gonna knock out the Blausium and get 30 peds of that, and I could do that super fast. But I just think like, well, at what cost? You don't want to. I don't want to. I mean, obviously, everything's like a balance. I mean, obviously, like, yeah, I just gave 50 pets to Mind Arc for like 1,600 skills in VSC. I'm not going to do that very often. But I mean, on the other hand, I guess, mining's like a percentage over time, I guess that's a little more subtle, but on the other hand, it's like, I mean, you have to weigh the cost and the benefit. And to me, like speed powering, um, mining isn't worth it. But definitely I want to do a lot more the Toulon. I really think like I got some good runs in Toulon. So I really believe in that sort of thing. And get that. I mean, it's not going to be huge, but it's going to be meaningful. My XP from Toulon. I like to do more next island, but I've just been. It just hasn't been happening. But what happens happens. I'm not gonna worry about my skill development. Exactly. Um, like yeah, I could be out. Like I knocked out, that Argus, and then There's so many I could be knocking out right now, but I'm not. I mean, by the end of the day, I'll have cycled over 1,000 peds easily. I'm sure of it. But on the other hand, I'm not. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll only cycle 600 peds a day. I don't know. But I mean, I could easily cycle, I think, reasonably on next island 1,000 peds and feel good about it. Um, well, so I'm just kind of taking it easy. It's the morning and a little bit of sweating. I'm just chilling. Never hurt anyone. So, um, I'm sure there's a lot more to say, and um, and I'll get there. But yeah, just to recap, I did get those good globals. I don't think it was like, oh yeah, I was, oh yeah, I was picking the right mob or something. I don't believe that. I believe it's from your personal pool. Like, if you're too low, it'll move you up. If you're too high, it'll move you down. Um, and that is based on your profession level. But I think really, to me, if you don't have those unlocks, you're probably going to be around 95%, which is probably where I'm at. I'm probably like in 95% in hunting, mining, crafting. I think if you've got those unlocks and you've got some reasonable level in there, you're probably just going to be about 95%. So to move, to 97, 98%, you're going to need those unlocks. And that's kind of where I am. Just like all across the board, I think I'm 95%. That's my estimate. Um, and that kind of makes it like scraping the edges in the game because you can't go too big anywhere if there's not MU. So I feel like I'm kind of just like, just scraping my way by till I get those unlocks or some of them. But I've been successfully scraping my way by. I'm not like, I'm not in any danger of bleeding out. And I've made like well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's one purchase I made. I lost 4,000 pets on it. It's really dumb, but yeah, I learned a lot, and hopefully maybe I didn't learn. I've definitely been more cautious. So, um, but yeah, I mean, my businesses have been, my businesses, and that was part of my one of my businesses, but it was just super stupid. But my businesses have definitely made me a lot more than I've lost. Actually been very profitable. So I just need to, think through things before I do them, and be really like all the angles, Um, so definitely gonna keep working on things, but not too fast, Especially like right now, I'm kind of transitioning out of well, I'm completely done from Twitch streaming, unless somehow my issues with them get resolved. But I don't even know what they think the issues are, so I don't. And I've been in a lot of contact with them, so I don't think it's gonna get resolved. I mean, I would like it to be because I just don't think that, you know, I don't think it's legitimate that they're not paying me, but whatever. Nothing I can do about that. So, um, you know, I, my last Twitch stream was yesterday. So I'm just absolutely not streaming at all on Twitch. Um, Maybe I'll stream once every 2 to 3 months for a couple hours to just not have my stream be completely inactive. I don't know, but I mean, essentially, I'm not even gonna stream every month. I'm really gonna be like absolutely maybe a couple hours every few months. Um, and I do hope that that gets resolved. I would like to, restart that with my fans, but I'd also like to continue on this regardless. Like, even if I restart that, I don't want that to take away from this, because actually, like, I'm finding, like, to me, this is an interesting challenge. It's something I want to do. It makes me think, like, you know, as I'm going about the week, it makes me think, like, how does this, how does what I'm doing impact this, this long-term journey? I think it puts me in a good frame of mind. I hope that I provide something for people. Um, and so I don't want to, even if I go back, I don't want to go back and like negate this, if this is just going to be continuing. Um, also, if I do go back, I'm probably going to stream a lot less hours, but try to focus more on high quality. I don't know. Maybe my quality got a little low. I don't know, but it is what it is, and we'll go from things as they come. So, all right. So I'll call that for this one this week. Obviously, there'll be many more to come, and hope you guys do enjoy. And um, I'm not even sure where we all went on this. It was ranging, and but you guys are great, and I love all the support and comments. And please like, follow, share. You guys are just the best. And hope you guys have a great one.